Well, welcome back to It's a Wrap again. We're going to try to keep you updated on the ever-changing world that we're living in right now with the COVID-19 virus. So we just wanted to give you another update today, and we'll try to do another one later in the week. But here's today's update.
Yeah, so we've been having conversations with the commissioner every day at 12:30, Dr. Randy Watson, and things change by the minute, like what we said last week. So tell us what we've learned new this week.
Well, I think most of you have seen that the governor and the commissioner suspended all operations in schools for this entire week, 16 through the 20th. We were on spring break, so that didn't impact us nearly as much. So they've done that with press conferences. What we learned today is that the CDC has put out a recommendation and a requirement that there not be any gatherings over 50 people for the next 8 weeks. So that's a pretty major recommendation that has been put out there, and that's one of the first things that we heard today.
And so keeping that in mind, I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions about how is each building going to do it, and how are we going to put that together?
Yeah, that's good. This
maybe?
Thursday, our administrative team will be back together, and they'll be giving up a little bit of their spring break. We thank them for that to prepare of what it will look like when everybody comes back next week. And just to let you know a little bit that whether this gets extended or not with students, our staff will report next Monday for sure. So you can count on that. We don't know at this point whether students will be a part of that or not. We should know that by the end of the week, Thursday or so. We'll for sure let you know about that. But staff do plan on being back in our schools, and we'll be working on a plan on Thursday of what that'll look like.
And so if it did come to going online, we are going to give staff lots of grace, and we are putting together a 3 to 5 day plan of professional learning to prepare our staff. We wouldn't just ask you to return and then go online the next day.
Right.
We know that there will be lots of professional learning that will have to take place, some clear expectations, and I'm sure you all have lots of questions that if that comes to that, we'll be opening to answering and taking it a little bit deeper. But do know that we are working behind the scenes to make sure that the comment is always prepare, but don't panic. And so we are preparing for all scenarios. So rest assured that we will have a plan, and you'll have lots of opportunities to ask questions as we put that plan in place.
And one of the components that we'll be looking at if students do not come back next week is how are we going to be able to feed those that rely on the schools for at least 2 of their meals. So that'll be part of that. I know Hutchison was putting some things together today. They have that summer food program that is wonderful. So we'll be working on that as well.
Excellent. Yeah. I know that as superintendent, maybe you've seen this, but in the end, it's impossible to know if we've overreacted or did too much, but it will be quite apparent if we underreacted.
Right.
And so I think that that's where we're at right now, is we want to make sure that we're preparing and doing exactly what is needed for the health and safety of our community and the state at large. If you've traveled, you've probably read some directions about traveling. If we do come back, what about travel guidelines for people that have been out of state or out of country?
Well, we'll probably be, they need to check in with us, but we'll be giving some specific information that for those that have traveled outside the state or the country for sure.
You know that out of country travel is for they've been recommending the 14 days of self quarantine, and so some of that we'll be asking if we do come back. We'll be making sure that we collect that data. I've had a lot of people email me about that information, so we will have a plan in place to address that.
We don't have any new information about spring sports. We know that we're out this week, but we don't have any new information there. One little other update, there are now 11 positive cases in Kansas, 3 new ones last night, and they were all in the Johnson County area. And this is why social distancing is so important. Those 3 new cases were all in contact with one of the cases from last week in the Johnson County area. So sometimes it seems extreme in the social distancing, but that is why that's in place. So if you can, stay at home, be with your kids and family, and we'll hopefully get this thing whipped.
Right.
That's a wrap.